and welcome back to Weird Soda for Life. Today, we're drinking some rice, baby. Ah, ah, you get it. Anyway, welcome back. Today we are in fact drinking some rice, baby, and also some ginger, baby. Uh, anyway, as always, hat tip to Chief Procurement Officer Porter, who grabbed a couple of these beers for me for my birthday. I thought this would be a great opportunity to try them since it is Labor Day weekend this weekend, and why not have a drink or two while you're sitting on your porch and thinking about all the violent strikes that got us this day off. Anyway, so both of these beers come from Hitachino Nest Brewery out of Japan. Um, and this is the first time I've ever had anything from this brewery, so I'm really looking forward to trying it. I did a little research, of course, as we do on the channel about who are these people are. It was actually a little bit fascinating. Actually, the roots of Hitachino Nest really lie a couple centuries earlier in the 19th century. Um, in 1823, Kiuchi Gihei, I've probably mispronounced that first name for sure, but I think I've nailed the last name. Uh, Kiuchi, but is the last name. It's the family name. In Asian tradition, of course, family name, then first name. Anywho, I digress. Anyway, in 1823, this guy starts his own brewery to brew sake. Names it after himself, Kiuchi Brewery. And like any good entrepreneur, he uses the tools that he has to make what he wants. And what he wanted to do was use the leftover rice that he collected from collecting land tax for his boss in order to make this sake. So that's the thing. They weren't actually brewing beer, they were brewing sake. And this goes on until around 1994. In 1994, Japan starts removing a lot of the restrictions that they have on breweries and brewing, right? So this opens up kind of like the field for beer and things of that nature. So in 1996, Hitachino Nest is created. So it is still brewed in Konosu Village, which is in Ibaraki Prefecture, which is on the island of Honshu. That's the biggest island in Japan. It's still there. And actually, what's really cool about its name is that Hitachino is actually Japanese for plains of Ibaraki, which is kind of kind of honoring thing. And Konotsu actually does mean nest. So like this is a really kind of nice acknowledgement of um, what their roots are, right? But the brewery itself for this beer doesn't actually come out until 1996. So this is actually a pretty recent brewery to the scene. What's also nice about it too is that while they use some of Western, if you will, brewing styles, they do it in their own Japanese style as well. So they really are combining East and West to make something uh, wholly unique. Um, with that, let's take a look at the bottles. I'm going to hold up the red rice ale first, and then we'll move over to the ginger brew once try the ginger brew. Um, so as you can see, their symbol is an owl. It's really fascinating. I have the URL in the description of the video, but if you want to go look at their website, they had a whole evolution of labels and things before they landed on the owl. They even had like a monkfish, which it kind of I don't know if I drink something with a monkfish, but there's a whole symbology based on like what they serve for dinner and things like that to kind of be welcoming. But yeah, you can see this cute owl, and you see red rice, you see Hitachino, and you can see their address, product of Japan. And what I thought was cool was up here. So when we were looking at this here, that actually says in really want to say it's hiragana, and I'm sorry, I do my best, but I don't speak Japanese. My mother did, and my mother read Japanese, but I afraid I don't have that. But um, this is really cool up here because actually what that says is Hitashi non suto biru, which is essentially Hitachino Nest beer. So I think that's really cool, and I believe that is a kind of a woodcut of the village that this comes from. With that, let's try this. I'm gonna bet you dollars to donuts this is not a twist top, and I was right. And I had a bottle opener around here somewhere, and I seem to have misplaced it. So we are gonna pause while I go find a beer opener. And we're back. I had to go grab a bottle opener. This is actually a metal from the Baker's Dozen Beer Run, put on my Dark Horse Brewery near where I live. I don't know if they actually do this anymore. Anyway, so we're gonna get this open. Come on. Okay. All right. I feel vindicated. This is definitely not a twist top. So I was not expected to get this open. And as I'm opening up, I can see the head of this kind of coming to the top. So we're gonna go ahead and pour. Okay, so as you can see, let's see if I can really, the reflection on this is terrible. Uh, let's try that. There we go. So as you can see, it is actually a really sort of nice, sort of red ale color. It kind of reminds me a whole lot of just a generic Western red ale. Um, and it, well, it smells like beer, but it smells like a sweet beer, which you kind of expect when I drink ales. And with that, bottoms up. I actually like that quite a bit. It is sweet, sort of like I expected. It kind of reminds me of a Belgian, to be honest. If you've had a just a Belgian strong ale, it very much reminds me of that. I would sort of say it leans a little bit into a Belgian sort of triple, which has a little bit of these banana notes, but it has a hint of that. But really, it really does strike me very much as a Belgian. It's refreshing and yeah, it's I don't know what I was expecting, um, but it tastes just like any old standard like Belgian beer actually that you would have. Um, so it's pretty good. A plus plus would drink again. And with that, I have to swap out the glass with another glass, or at least to wash this out, so I can pour the ginger brew. So if you'll pause for another minute, I'll be right back. Okay, both my mouth and the glass are washed out now. We are ready to try the next beer on our list. Um, I don't know about you, but between the two designs, I actually very much like the red rice one better. I feel like it's a better acknowledgement of well, Japan, right? And its legacy with brewing. This just feels sort of like I took a really cute owl and went and found the most violent font I could find on my Word document to just surround it with. But as you can see, real ginger brew, beer brewed with ginger. So they actually put out a real ginger ale as well, but this is different. And of course, again, we have the village on top, and the name of the brewery. I really say in hiragana again. I probably have that wrong. Please don't sue me. Uh, Unlike the red rice ale, which had its name under in English, this does not, and I suspect it probably does say like real ginger brew in Japanese. With that, oh, and actually, as I'm looking at this, worth noting, the red rice ale is at 7% ABV, and this is at 8. So, glad we're doing it in my office. All right, here we go. Come on. go. And of course, now that I've done that, I actually see my opener over there. But no matter. Off we go. All right. I would say, unlike the last beer that we opened, this one isn't already foaming as we open it. Um, so that's nice. And then, oh, okay, so this is actually a little more hazy than the other one, and it's darker too. Again, I cannot help the reflections that are happening. But this is actually a quite dark beer. I don't know what I was expecting. I guess I was expecting in my mind a lot like ginger ale, where it's like a lighter brown. But yeah, this is quite dark and a little hazy. It's got a nice thick head on it. Um, and while the red rice ale smelled like, well, like a beer would, this doesn't really smell like much of anything. I mean, I do get hints of hops, right? But not and but like not anything else. Um, it kind of smells like a nondescript brown ale, I guess. Not a lot to write home about. But with that, meh. The red rice ale had a distinct flavor. It had like a bite. It had a lot of notes that really made it stand out. I was expecting with ginger that it would have more of a bite, more spicy maybe, or sweet or something, right? And this is just nothing. Frankly, I am unimpressed with that. It's pretty meh, which is a little disappointing because the red rice ale was quite good. Um, I don't I don't think I can actually recommend the real ginger brew. Um, the real ginger brew, real ginger blue. um, dang. I, but that's okay. That's why we try stuff, right? So when you go out this Labor Day, if you are looking for a Japanese brewery to try, I mean, you could try them, but stick with the red rice ale and don't do this. Don't do this to yourself because that was disappointing as hell. um, until next week. Um, I was gonna say until next week, drink weird, but I realized I didn't tell you what we were drinking next week. Next week we are back on our soda grind. I am trying out one of the sodas I got last year in Shawano from Twigs Beverage. I don't know if I ever did a video on their version of Sundrop, but if not, maybe one day. But in Shawano, there's Twigs Beverage Company, and they do a lot of their own sodas, and we are trying their sour soda, aptly called Sour. Um, so we'll get back on that for next week. Until next time, drink weird and usually I have something clever, but I don't. This beer was just so disappointing. It has sucked the ending out of this video. See you next time.